We don't have to even speak names, but you spoke a name and called out someone a suit. I mean, the courage to do that, and you got a lot of respect. You already had respect, but even more respect for doing that. Has there been any backlash, any conversation, like because, like you said, there is a give and take and a tug between what people have hung their hats on for years and made a lot of money, and what is coming and what it's going to be.
I don't know. I don't know if there was any conversations that
Hmm.
happened behind. Obviously, so you know, like I thought that was a warning shot to that guy. I didn't even think that was
A direct hit.
yeah, because I'm the I'm the executive producer of my show. I report directly to Jimmy and Bob. So I'm not really viewing anybody as like I saw everybody like Pat calls out his boss. I don't got a motherfucking boss.
Mm.
What are we, like what are we Jim Pitaro? Are we talking Jimmy Pitaro or Bob Iger? Like, is that who we're talking about? Because those are people that could technically be described as my boss. And like Burke Magnus as well. And I have a great relationship with him. But I think even Burke would say, like, yeah, like we have a good like we are talking like this as opposed to like this. And so that was just a warning shot to, I thought, a person that was, at the same, which is hilarious because he's the former president of the place. I guess a lot of people had a lot of fear of him. I did not. Like,
Right.
I do not have, that guy, that guy left me sitting in his office for 45 minutes, no showed me when I was supposed to
Mm.
have a meeting with him, right? When 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever.
No
it was.
showed you.
No showed, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And
he
you
was,
remember that.
what's that?
And you remember that.
This thing's a fucking elephant brain,
There
buddy.
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got everybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also banned all my friends from coming on my show. So there
Really?
was a ban of ESPN talent on my show on YouTube that came directly from him, which so much so that I started a hashtag ESPN stinks the day that everybody got banned from my show. It only trended for like 8-9 hours or something like that, and then that's the next day is when I met Jimmy Pitaro. Jimmy Pitaro called me and said, like, hey, how do we, what's the deal? And I told him about, you guys are banning my friends from coming on my show. Matt Hasselbeck, who worked at ESPN, Jeff Passan worked at ESPN, Dan Orlovsky worked at ESPN. All these people that I've known
For a
since
while, right?
before they got into ESPN,
Hmm.
like they're not even allowed to come on my podcast or whatever, or my YouTube show. You guys banned it. So like that guy was not a fan of me or our operation for a long time. So then whenever ESPN signs us
Oh,
and
he
he runs
hated it.
Sports Center
He hated
and
it.
our show is now in place of Sports Center at noon, I'm a fan of Sports Center. We all watch Sports Center. I grew up on da-na-na,
Hmm.
da-na-na,
All did.
but there became like a war almost from behind scenes from like Sports Center people and like people that have been at ESPN a long time against us coming in and taking their jobs and all this other shit. And I didn't see it like that. We were like pumped that we made it to the big leagues. Like, hey, I'm pumped that we're on the worldwide
Hell
league. Like
yeah.
that's how I viewed it.
Come on, man.
And this is what I'm talking about playing a checkers player.
Hmm.
Like, get the ESPN deal done. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, we joined the ESPN team. So lucky to be here. We get access. And then immediately it's like, this guy sucks. This guy's ruining ESPN. And it's not coming from
Mm.
people outside ESPN. It was coming from people within ESPN. And I did not expect that at all. So I immediately like, okay, I'm in war. Like
Mhm.
if that's what we're doing, we're in war. And then once you start learning about how shit's going behind scenes, things that are being said to people, things that are being leaked, the timing in which they're being leaked, it's like, oh, they're trying to kill me. Like they're trying to make our show impossible to advertise with. They're trying to make sure people don't watch
Wow,
our
that's
show.
fucked up.
So like as I started learning that, I'm like, all right, well, that's not gonna. I don't know how this has gone in the past with other people,
It ain't going here.
but yeah, this particular white trash kid from Pittsburgh, like, hey, Suits, this is not how this is gonna go. So that was just a warning shot. That wasn't even like supposed to
Mhm.
be and then obviously it goes big. And I heard from, this is no lie, no less than like 40 people that have worked at ESPN or used to work at ESPN, and they were like, thank you for
Yeah.
saying what you said. And I was like,
Mm.
well, if I really crafted a statement about that, I mean, I could have said something much better, but I also did not appreciate the thing I didn't think about. Once again, checkers player, I did not expect the backlash afterwards. Like Burke Magnus just became the president of content at ESPN. I think he has a great vision for what the future of sports media should look like. He was a big part of us joining ESPN. People were attacking Burke because it made him look sloppy because it's
Okay.
inside the
Right,
building.
right.
People were attacking Jimmy because it looked sloppy.
Mhm.
And that was something that I did not think about. I was very apologetic about. Like, I didn't mean to take down my allies or
Right.
make allies look bad in the whole thing. But I genuinely did not expect it to get as big as it did because I didn't think I said anything that was like
Mhm.
that crazy.
No, you
You
just
know what
kept
I
it
mean?
real.
Or like, I'm a pretty good talker, you know? I'm a pretty good promo cutter. Like, if I really wanted to saw a motherfucker down, like, I thought I could have done it in a much bigger way,
Mhm.
and I did not. So I was actually, like, pretty proud of
Yeah.
myself. I was like, "Look at me,
That was
you know?
a
I'm an adult," and then it got loud.
I'm an adult.
I'm an adult, and it got real loud.
That's
Got
tough.
real loud.